Building a Legacy, sponsored by 5-Star Credit Union.
In today's Building a Legacy, as we continue to celebrate Black History Month, we are heading to Jacksonville's North Side to a family-owned funeral home that started back in 1904. It all began with a young woman unafraid to start a business from the ground up.
She was quite a woman. She was before her time. She was quite the entrepreneur.
On the far left is my Uncle Ulysses, my Aunt B, Miss Rosa, sitting down.
You'll discover photos held dear throughout Holmes, Glover, Solomon, a funeral home that bears the names of a family legacy dating back nearly 120 years.
This is the building that the funeral home was started in.
On State and Broad Streets in downtown Jacksonville.
It was rare and quite unpopular for a black woman to own vehicles in the volumes that she had.
Just 13 years prior to the 13th Amendment abolishing slavery, Rosa Glover was born. By age 26, Ms. Rosa Holmes saw a need within her community, and she met it. Hands-on.
I hear stories from my aunts and grandmother and great-grandmother of how strong her hands were and how she could build caskets with their hands.
A female funeral home director in the early 1900s, meeting the needs of grieving families while growing her own family's legacy.
We have 4 generations of licensed funeral directors in our family.
Victor Solomon Jr. next in line, along with his sister Victoria, to keep the family's planted roots firm within the city. Roots once at risk of being pulled in 1991.
We were almost redlined essentially by the state.
We got the notification that we were going to be moved from our location, and Willie said, this can't happen.
She was able to convince the courts and the state for us to have the building that we're in now.
Along Brentwood Avenue, just a block down the road from this marker that reads Victor Solomon Parkway.
I learned what it really meant through that, to value my last name.
Victor Jr. is one of only 2 people in this photo still alive. In his father's arms, a well-known educator and coach in Jacksonville.
He died when I was 7. I wasn't really around, the funeral home, so I'm just now getting it to the flow of things. It's taking some time, but I'm gonna get used to it.
Victoria and Victor are being reared to keep Aunt Rosie's funeral home alive.
Education was the key to this black family's success. And Rosie saw the need to educate everyone.
Raising several members of her family, including
my mother. Their mother was deceased at a young age, and Rosie took over, and she sent them all to school.
When Aunt Willie picked up the phone or Aunt Faye picked up the phone and called you, you just did it because they were those type of people. They commanded, because they were taught the same way by Aunt Rosa. When she called, they jumped.
Teaching lessons learned in life and death, knowing well the importance of time, education, and family.